Good morning, everyone. I'm Ms. Neeru Jain in the Department of English and Humanities, JECRC Jaipur. Today, we will be talking about that what are the different types of communication. And first of all, in this context, I'll be covering the meaning of communication, which needs to be understood thoroughly in order to just understand what the slide is about. So, communication, it is a process in which we exchange facts and information from one person to another using a particular channel and a medium which is understood by the sender as well as the receiver. When the sender sends the message to the receiver again decodes the message and sends it back to the sender in the form of feedback. So, feedback is very important in terms of understanding what you have done in the process of communication. But several times it happens that during this process of communication there are a lot of barriers, and it becomes the utmost duty of the sender as well as the receiver to remove such barriers so that the process of communication is good enough to be understood. Now, talking about the types of communication, the communication is based on two two different ways. We can just classify the types of communication. First is based on communication channels, and the second is based on the style and purpose. So, based on communication channels, we can classify it into verbal as well as non-verbal communication. We also, in our day-to-day life, we communicate verbally as well as non-verbally. So the verbal channel is further subdivided into the oral and the written. Fine. And if we classify it on the basis of style and purpose, then it can be divided into the formal as well as the informal channels. The formal channels, they are further subdivided into the vertical, the horizontal, and the diagonal. And the informal channel is further subdivided into the grapevine communication, which I have talked in my previous video. So the verbal communication, it is type of oral communication where the message is transmitted through the spoken words. The speaker sends the message by talking, by just expressing the ideas, the opinions in the form of speeches, discussions, presentations, and conversations. Right now, what I am doing, right? I am just communicating with the audience through the presentation, and this is a very apt example of the verbal communication. The next is the oral communication, is the process of verbally transmitting information, ideas from one person to another, and it can be either formal or informal. So the oral communication, it includes face-to-face. So the written communication, it means that you send the messages in the form of orders, instructions by using letters, circulars, manuals, reports. Fine, and it is a very formal method of communication but is less flexible because everything is in the written format, so you cannot change it. It has certain abiding laws and principles, so accordingly it is less flexible in this context. The next is the non-verbal communication. If we see in our day-to-day life, then you are going to see that we communicate non-verbally more as compared to the verbal communication. And in this context, the non-verbal communication refers to our gestures, the facial expressions, the eye contact that we make with the audience when we talk, or the other person when we talk, our body language, everything. These things are very, you can say that they are very expressive. Even if you are saying something else, but your body is saying something else, so the other person is going to know that yes, something is wrong with this person. And so the non-verbal communication plays a very important role in our day-to-day life. Next is the types of non-verbal communication. Now these non-verbal communication are also divided into different types. If we talk about, see this diagram, first of all you can see that non-verbally we communicate 65%. 65%, okay, fine, but maybe sometimes it can be 65, sometimes it can be 80, sometimes it can be 70, depending upon the situation in which we are communicating. So the non-verbal communication, we use our facial expressions, eye contact, as I already told you, and accordingly this non-verbal communication is divided into different types. So we will be discussing what are these different types. Now in this context, what is proxemics? Proxemics is that even the space which is there between two people, it determines the type of communication which is taking place. So proxemics means that it is the study of space वो वाला नहीं, the astronauts and all, but space is the gap between two people, right? So it defines that what type of communication is taking place, what are the behavior, what are the interacting between each other. So accordingly this proxemics is further subdivided into four different distances. First is intimate distance, which is used for embracing, touching, or whispering. It is a very, we can say, it is has a close surface of less than 1 inch and a far surface to 6 to 18 inches from the body. Fine. So again, it is used when you are very close to somebody and then you are communicating to that person in this intimate distance. The second is the personal distance, and it is used for interacting among a group of friends or family. The third is the social distance, which is used for interactions to which we know somebody, fine, and it has a close surface of 4 to 7 feet and a far surface of 7 to 12. It is a very common, you can say, a practice which we follow during the business meetings. And the last is the public distance, and it is used for public speaking. Whenever you go for public speaking activities, then you maintain a close surface of 12 to 25 feet and a far phase of 25 feet. So these are the various distances which are covered into under proxemics, which is the study of space, that even space determines the type of communication which takes place. The next is the kinesics. Now kinesics means that your whole body, including your facial expressions, your gestures, your postures, the way you maintain the eye contact, fine, each and everything, it says something or the else. If we talk about our face, then our face itself is divided into five different parts, fine. The forehead, whenever you are, you can say, whenever you are very puzzled or you don't know anything about it, you frown like this and you can see the marks on your forehead, fine. And whenever you are happy, then you blush. Your eyes are also very, you can say that, very shiny eyes, fine. And these cheeks and all. So even you must have heard it from your friends that aaj to you are very blushing. So it means that although you are not telling it to them verbally, but yes, through your face, through your facial expressions, through your cheeks, they get to know that yes, something is very good which is going on with you, fine. So this is known as the facial expressions, which comes under kinesics. Even your lips, your chin, your jaw movement, everything, they relate something or the other. Sometimes you must have seen that we are telling a lie, but in front of the other person we say that yes, this is not a lie, but yes, this is a truth. But the other person gets to know how? Through your eyes, fine. Because if you are lying to any person, then definitely you are, it is going to be known through your eyes, and this is the way that the other person gets to know that what is going on within the other person, fine. So this is known as kinesics, in which the body movements, they describe the type of communication which takes place. The next is the paralanguage. Now whatever you speak, fine, whatever verbal language you speak, it is accompanied with the, you can say, sometimes whenever you go out for a debate, for example, fine, whenever you go out for a debate, sometimes your pitch is very high, sometimes it is low, fine. So, and sometimes you bang the table in order to stress upon the point which you are making. So all this is known as the paralanguage, in which the words which you are speaking, they are accompanied with the non-verbal techniques which you are using. And in this context, the paralanguage, it comprises of the pitch, the volume, the intonation, fine. Sometimes you speak into high volume, sometimes you use the low volume, sometimes your pitch is very high. Whenever you want to raise any point, your pitch is very high. So this is known as the paralanguage, fine. The next is the chronemics. Chronemics means that you, even the time, it specifies the type of communication which takes place. Sometimes, now in this context, there is M time cultures and there is P time cultures. M time cultures means that everything is pre-decided and you need to work accordingly, right? But a polychromic time system is where several things can be done at one time, fine, and accordingly you can shuffle in between the time, fine. So chronemics means the study of time in communication, and it is one of the non-verbal communication. It is one of the category under non-verbal communication. The next is artifacts. Now sometimes you must have seen that it is a trend nowadays in the youngsters that they wear that rugged jeans, they have that tattoo pierced, fine, and they wear something or the other. It means that yes, they are in with the fashion trends, the latest fashion trends which are going on, fine. The other person is not telling that yes, I'm wearing this or that, but you get to know the other person which the through the physical items that the person is carrying with him, fine. So this is known as the artifacts, that the physical items, the belongings that you carry, even they define that what type of personality you have. Sometimes when you wear a branded jeans, how comfortable you feel at that time, fine. So this is a very apt example of the artifacts, which is a type of non-verbal communication. The next is haptics. Haptics means the study of touch. Whenever a person touches you, you get to know the type of you can say the type of things that are going on with that person, fine. So even the touch, the sense of touch, it can define if if the person has some good intention and it's touch, and the person is touching you, definitely you are going to sense it. But if the person is not having that good intention, you are definitely going to know that yes, something is wrong and I need to stop it immediately. So this is known as haptics, fine. Now what are the effects of this non-verbal communication in our day-to-day life? There are mainly 5 effects, fine. How can it affect the verbal communication? They repeat, fine, they reinforce what is already being said. How? As I already told you, that during the debate, whenever you say something, fine, and you put stress on some words, on some points, you bang the table, so it means that yes, you want to repeat your argument. It contradicts also your verbal message. How? Contradiction is in this case that whenever a teacher asks you that yes, have you understood everything, you say that yes, but you are nodding your head like this. So this is your non-verbal communication, which definitely you can just have that yes, it is contradicting what you are saying verbally, right? It substitutes also. Now sometimes it happens that we don't say anything, but yes, the other person can understand, and it is again through our body language, through our facial expressions. So it substitutes the verbal message, it complements the verbal message. How? Sometimes just go through an example that your father pats your back, fine. It means that yes, I'm really happy with whatever you have done. You say that yes, I have scored some good marks, and your father is saying good, whatever you have done, he is just complimenting you, and along with that he is patting your back. It means that yes, he is very happy. So this is the complimenting of verbal message, fine. And the accenting is they underline a certain point in the message, as I've already told you, fine. So these are the effects of non-verbal communication on the verbal message. So this is all about the types of communication, what are the different types of non-verbal communication. So thank you.